Welcome to Learn Butoh, Episode 8, Crawls. Crawls are one of the things that we begin doing in an early stage of life. It is also something we share with other animals. One could even say that our stages of growth from being on the floor crawling up to bipedal mirrors that of the evolutionary cycle. You could say all of these movements are prerequisites to the movements that modern man has today, and it is something that we should remember so as to regain a sense of natural movement. The modern movements we have today don't seem to serve man's body. The way we sit, the way we, for instance, look at our phone, and the way we never really look up at the sky. In this series, I'm going to go over various crawls ranging from very subtle to pretty complicated in hopes that we can regain a sense of this natural form of movement that we may have forgotten. We'll first start on the ground. Feel your body. How would a newborn feel? Trying to lift the heavy head up, trying to go forward with all the might, but you can't go too far. Just vibe with this for a little bit. The baby has discovered that it can propel forward with the use of the legs. Feel the ground beneath you. You still have your abdomen touching. We're not lifting off yet. Feel this for a little bit. Now we're starting to get into a crawl. We can lift up on the abdomen just a bit and start crawling on all fours. See how it feels like. Up to this point, we were crawling, except I wasn't telling you that you could do this crawl with one unit in your body, to where everything is just simultaneously going in a rhythm. You can do crawls like this in a vertical plane. One side contracts in while another contracts in. All the while, one extends out while the other extends out. It's all a very beautiful systematic movement. And so this is an example to where I'm separating my arms and my legs, my upper and lower body. They are sort of moving on their own. And the next one's going to contrast against this. Here, just like the standing crawl, everything is moving in a system, as you can see. One body. But there can be a momentum to a crawl. Now we're moving up on the crawl by getting up from our knees, and so my knees are not touching the ground, but I'm keeping that systematic movement of the whole body. This is the same thing, except I'm going very slow. You could call this the quadrupedal ash walk. Very slow, just like the first episode, except we are doing this on all fours. It can definitely be a very tricky move. Here's a crawl variation using the forearms. And yet another variation, tailbone high. And we're walking here on fingers and toes. And this is lizard movement. Notice the systematic whole body that I'm using. For those that need a challenge, we have the bridge crawl. And there's still systematic movement here. The legs and the arms are not separate. They're all doing this movement together into one being. Here's another crawl variation, a side crawl. The same systematic whole body is being utilized here. This is a variation on the bridge pose crawl. And so here is a little performance for you, incorporating many of the things that I talked about.